Well, hello, Virtual English 2 students, and welcome to day 5 of us reading Walkers with the Dawn by Langston Hughes. Today, we're going to be reading the poems Youth, which can be found on page 65, and Alabama Earth, that can be found on page 66. So let's first start off with Youth. It's a pretty short and sweet and to the point kind of poem. The two things you want to focus on is the simile that happens. There is a simile that happens in the first stanza. Like a flame is the simile, by the way. Spoiler alert. But why does he choose flame? Think about why he chooses the word flame specifically. Because there's many things that can be bright. There's a variety of things that be bright. Like this light, like these light bulbs are bright. The sun is bright. But why did he specifically pick the word flame? The other thing to keep in mind are symbols. Symbols are something that represents something else. They are a little bit more ubiquitous. They're a little bit more universal compared to metaphors. Metaphors are kind of like one use and then move on type of things, where symbols are more all over the place. Kind of like the color red. It's symbolic of anger. Most people will automatically jump to, or stopping because you're used to driving. Or the color green could be like envy or disgust, or money or wealth. Gold can also be wealth. So symbols are just something that represent something else that are kind of ubiquitous. So think about what's the common things that times a day represent, like dawn, like nighttime, like tomorrow. What are those things kind of symbolic of? I'm going to read it and then we'll talk a little bit more about it and move on. My student, the face-to-face student, said that this was the most poemy poem because it actually, out of all the collection we've read so far, because it actually rhymes. A couple ideas to keep in mind as we interact with this is, what is Langston Hughes trying to tell us about optimism? What he's usually trying to tell us about youth? And what is he trying to tell us about the future? So without further ado, Youth by Langston Hughes. We have tomorrow bright before us like a flame. Yesterday, a night gone thing, a sundown name, and dawn today, broad arch above the road we came, we march. Interesting to think about if you want to draw a correlation between this poem and the first poem we read, Walkers with the Dawn. They were walking during the sunrise, but this last line, broad arch above the road we came, keep in mind, what does the sun look like at dawn? It looks like an arch. So broad arch above the road we came, talking about how the dawn's behind them. So maybe the walkers of the dawn were the present or the older generation, and the youth could be the ones that are further ahead. All right, just an interesting thought. That's the first poem we're reading. The second poem we're going to be reading is Alabama Earth. So I need to give you some historical context here. Booker T. Washington is who this is for. So at Booker Washington's grave, we're talking about Booker T. Washington. He was a leader in Black education during the times of separate but equal, which were not really equal. If you remember, if you actually read the Maya Angelou story that we read back when we were in quarantine, when we were all virtual school, that particular story shows how unequal the schools are. All the new stuff, all the funds were going to the white school. The black school was not getting the equal shake. But Booker T. Washington dedicated to try to level that playing field, and he spent his entire life working in the field of education to try to educate people. And his last place he worked at was in Tuskegee, Alabama, at the Tuskegee Institute, which is now Tuskegee University. And that's where his gravesite is at Tuskegee. And this poem was read at his funeral. And so this is a eulogy poem. So keep in mind that this poem was read at a funeral. And I want you to pay attention to the visual imagery this time. Yes, what is the visual imagery that we're seeing painted in this poem? A couple other things I want to point out is, what do these words mean? Certain words mean. What does it mean to have a simple heart? Answer that question. What does it mean to have a simple heart? And what does it mean to have a strong hand? And then pay close attention to the ending couplet. And I will probably repeat the ending couplet a couple of times. So Alabama Earth at Booker Washington's grave by Langston Hughes. Deep in Alabama earth his buried body lies, but higher than the singing pines and taller than the skies, and out of Alabama earth to all the world there goes the truth a simple heart has held, and the strength a strong hand knows. While over Alabama earth these words are gently spoken. Serve, and hate will die unborn. Love, and chains are broken. So once again, the ending couplet is serve and hate will die unborn. What does it mean for something to die unborn? Apparently, that will happen to hate if we serve. Love and chains are broken. Chains will be broken if we love one another. So excellent, pretty good poems to think about today. So we'll be back tomorrow with 2 more. We're going to be reading Lincoln Monument tomorrow, and I believe Aunt Sue's Stories. So those are going to be the 2 poems we're going to read tomorrow. And yeah, poems are still going to be due on Monday because I did the math, and tomorrow's Thursday. So we'll do day 6 tomorrow and read poems 11 and 12 tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll read poems 13 and 14, which are As I Grew Older and African Dance. So Monday, the poems will be due in class face-to-face. They'll have the entire hour to work on them. You just need to make sure you get them done by Monday. All right, that's all I got for you. So I will see y'all tomorrow with the 2 next poems. I will see you on the flip side. Peace out. A-Town down. Later.